What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This time it is from Tank Buster Andrew. I'm just going to refer to him as Tank Buster. And we have a game here in his Hummel. Now, artillery, not typically something that you see too many replays from me, but you know, it's, I guess, just not that many people play it. Now, I mean, if you're gonna really get into it, people complain about it already a lot. People say too many people play it, but we are here to talk about that. We are here to talk about this game. And, yeah, honestly, I don't get that many replays from you guys with artillery. So, if I could... Why is it not bringing up the... Oh, wait, that's right, because it's tab. There we go. So, we have a fairly even match here. You know, tier 5s for 5s, 4s for 4s. I mean, his team has a slight advantage, at least for my perception. But nothing too major. And the new matchmaker has been pretty good about that. Let me get back. I guess I accidentally clicked the mouse and we stopped watching what he was watching. Now, does that give us free reign to look wherever we want? Okay, so I learned something new about replays today. If you go in the free look mode after an artillery has zoomed in, you can look everywhere on the map. So maybe a tip to keep in mind for people who do commentaries of the entire game and not just the actions of one tank. Maybe something I might take advantage of in future artillery matches. I'm not quite sure. But as it stands, this BT7 apparently wanting to play the role of scout, doing it fairly well. Our buddy Tank Buster here going into TD mode. Definitely something to be advised. Certainly something I would have done in that position. He was smart not to fire and have a round in the chamber should that BT7 come after him. Now his team is slightly losing at this point, and this SU-76 probably about to meet his death. Oh no, very close to meeting his death. Left with only one hit point left. The coastline doing decent for itself. His team really turning it around at right now. 4 for 4, so it's going 5 for 4. There we go. It's a pretty even matchup until this point. Now Tank Buster is looking to kill this SU-785. I'm sorry, the 76 was in this match, I think. Maybe? No, I'm just hallucinating. Ooh! A single shot. That's unfortunate. I've noticed ever since the 8.0 patch, artillery team does seem to be a bit more potent. It seems to get through that top armor a little easier. So if it does, chances are pretty good you're going to hit for your full average damage. And that's a scary thought when you consider... Oh, I can't say I fully agree with that. But I was going to say aiming for between the two... That's something, if he missed and actually hit dead on where he was going for, the Grille does not have a lot of splash damage. So, and that's something to consider with lower tier artillery, the fact that you probably won't do any splash damage whatsoever. He's up to 2 kills at this point, killing 2 tank destroyers. So, tank destroyers, yes, they tend to be a little more artillery targets than just regular tanks, especially medium. And light tanks tend not to get hit by artillery too much if they're playing their roles correctly, whereas heavy tanks and tank destroyers definitely are larger arty magnets. Now, at this point, definitely the advantage with Tank Buster's team. He's probably, not quite, I was going to say he's probably going to nail that Matilda, but certainly not. Now, his team is pushing up pretty steadily, a little discombobulated, certainly, not really a uniform push, just random tanks pushing at different points on the map. Pretty wide net cast, so the enemy probably... Tank Buster taking the tank destroyer role here, and this M3 Lee certainly having a rough time handling him. He obviously does not have a repair kit, and several lower players do not use consumables, as I've noticed. So that I do, but that's just because I have the credits. Now this M3 Lee will come at him to his death. 3 kills at this point. Enemy artillery getting themselves eliminated, and the coastline in town really the last bastion of hope for the enemy team. Now, the enemy team has no chance of coming back at this point. At least, if they were to come back, it would be a complete upset. But that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, there have been chances I've had to make epic comebacks, but it's just so many things have to play right that it's not very likely. Grille having to do a full 360 here to get shots. His team perhaps about to lose a few tanks on the capture point due to rushing in a bit too eagerly and not together, basically allowing themselves to be surrounded and isolated. Just really kind of not a wise move, but again, yes, there we go. That KV1 getting himself killed because he went in alone. This Luke's probably going to have the same happen to him. Ooh, except for Tank Buster's giving him RD support. There we go. Come on, take him out. Now, the town still has a couple tanks in it. The coastline probably going to be a problem here for Tank Buster, as that tank, I believe it is the medium tank, which is the Matilda. Okay, so that's not going anywhere anytime soon. The Matilda is slow as death, and it does very well for its tier. Now, I'm talking about the 8. This is an 8.0 replay, mind you, so there are no British tanks. That's why you see none in this battle. But Tank Buster probably going to get the kill on this KV1, especially since his team can't seem to do anything, leading the target, but still missing. His team simply cannot kill this KV1, but they are encroaching on it from all angles. You see that medium tank running up the Charlie 2 line. I mean, sorry, the Charlie 8 line. I don't know why I was thinking Charlie 2. But the KV1 backing it very wisely, going to still not getting killed by artillery. That is one of the other problems with low tier artillery. Since you have no splash, you do miss quite frequently. You are not very accurate. And since you have no splash, that means no damage whatsoever. Now this KV1, he's aiming at where it was last located. It is most likely still tracked, and it is still. That's what I mean right there. Hit right next to that tank. No splash damage whatsoever. Now I am curious to find out where this other KV1 and this Matilda are, and simply, okay, there's that other KV1 coming in from the coastline, coming in from the west. But there we go. Finally, that KV1 getting his biscuit burnt. That was his name, Biscuit Burner. So, a little bit of a play on words. You know, kind of just want to do. The Matilda. Now, I did own the premium Matilda tank. Certainly not one of my favorite premium tanks ever. In my opinion, it's too slow, has too weak of armor, and has too crap of a gun to really be of any use in its tier, which just makes it no fun to play at all. Now, the tier 4 Matilda that has come out with the 8.2 replay, I do enjoy that greatly. This KV1 at full health, possibly going to, you know what I said earlier? When I said this team doesn't have that much of a chance of a comeback? I take that back. That KV1, if it wasn't for Tank Buster here, that KV1 could easily kill that Matilda and that Martyr. And like I said, the chances of a comeback are so great at this point that if it were not for Tank Buster giving artillery support, see, there we go. The enemy team is only down by 2 tanks. And really the only tank his team has on the front is that Matilda. And there it goes. So were it not for Tank Buster just killing that Matilda right there, and the KV1 still has a chance to win it. I mean, let's face it, all he has to do is kill 2 artillery and a tier 3 light tank, which is a M2 MT. I'm sorry, a medium tank. I don't know why they call it a medium tank. It really does not deserve the title. And Tank Buster here only has 2 shells left. Now the M2 moving up to spot this KV1, serving his role as a scout for artillery, doing his job, essentially. That's all he is doing at this point. I'm not quite sure why he was sitting back for so long, but he is now the last hope for this team. Well, that's not quite true. If push comes to shove, the tank destroyers, I'm sorry, the artillery can function as tank destroyers. Got ahead of myself there. And yes, it is still a long shot for the KV1, but it is not nearly as hopeless as it once was, simply because his team, I'm sorry, not the KV1's team, Tank Buster's team, pushed on the enemy cap in an ununiform manner. They just filed in one at a time and let themselves get rolled over by both KV1s, essentially. And if they had pushed as a team and not worried so much about capping, but eliminating the enemy team, that probably would have ended much better. I mean, certainly the match would have been over by now. And that just goes to show you should never preemptively push a capture point. If you have your team that's coming in behind you, you should kind of wait for them and then do a nice strong push on the capture point so you're all there. And if the enemy wants to come at you, they have to deal with so many tanks and just so much, well, it's more of a show of force. Ooh, that was a strong artillery hit, just plowing through that front armor. But as I was saying, you want to push the cap at the same time, so you capture it faster, so the enemy has less time to respawn, and if they do respawn, you have just that many more guns ready to just blast them to oblivion, when they do come. Now, Tank Buster surviving the match, winning it for his team, getting 6 kills, which makes it a top gun, and only 1 shell left. So certainly doing his part. And he did send me a screenshot, so I will be right back with the post-game commentary. All right, so here we go. We got the nice little post-game screenshot here that I was just talking about. And as you can tell, he did pretty decently for himself. Now without premium, this was his double. So he got 1594 on a double, which approximately is between 700 and 800 experience, non-premium. With premium, just over between 11 and 1200. So that's pretty impressive, I do have to say, especially for a tier 4 artillery. As you notice, he got mastery badge first class. And again, that's definitely sounds about right for that range. He got 3 criticals on that Lee, man. That M3 Lee just having a very bad day when he came across our little friend here. He certainly was the tank buster this round. So getting a good amount of experience and credits in a tier 4 artillery. I have to admit, it's not my favorite artillery, but he definitely did well. Now, I have really nothing else to say about this match except for the fact he killed how many tier 5s? 3? Yeah. Nope, 4. That Matilda. I'm so used to the Matilda being a tier 4. Anyway, definitely doing well for himself. He did kill an SU-76. I knew there was one. I knew it. So anyway, he killed the 76 and the 75, and just overall, he was the tank buster. Anyway, if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you got a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Email is in the description. This has been Spang, and I'm signing off.